Okay, this is information given to me from Charles Lamoureux. He's a UAP skywatcher in Vancouver. He's done a film. His website is static8films.com. And Charles had invited us out to Vancouver last year. And while we were out there, we managed to film the Squamish Orb. And you'll find that on YouTube under my channel. Titled Squamish Orb, I believe, Goes into Woods, something like that. So I'm going to read all this information for those who are just playing this in their car and want to hear it on audio and not watch, of course. Charles was in touch with an engineer who worked for one of the space agencies, and the fellow requested that his name not be disclosed. And this is fascinating information about what the orbs really are. There has been research done that's not in the public domain, and this now will put it into the public domain. So here we go. These are Space Agency Aerospace Engineer statements. Aerospace Engineer statements in response to the orb phenomenon questions. From Charles Lamoureux, UAP Skywatcher, Static 8 Films. And I'll just go ahead and scroll through as I'm reading. Dated 2014 to 2018. All statements have not been altered in any way. Most statements are in response to my questions about orb phenomena I've been filming and seeing over Vancouver, Canada between 2011 to 2018. His name will be kept confidential as requested. Dear Charles, many thanks for your message. Precisely, I added you because I have already seen your YouTube channel with some interesting infrared videos. Indeed, I work for the space industry within Europe and North America. Unfortunately, I could not define what you captured on your videos with only the information and images provided on them. But they do not behave as any of the spacecrafts I know, brackets, human-made or not, end of brackets. Many of these elements do not even have a defined molecular structure, so they could just represent what is called quantum energy condensation from an unknown source. Hi Charles, this topic about orbs and many other sky anomalies is really complicated. There are many sources that work as the cause of these anomalies. Even though I can assure you that strange objects are orbiting close to polar regions, and those are not man-made artificial satellites. Regarding my quote, please feel free to use it, but never provide my name since I'm currently working under different security clearances. But this theory with respect to the so-called quantum energy phenomenon is a variation of the known as network theory and only represents a small quantity of these objects that appear close to ground, brackets maximum to approximately 8 kilometers altitude depending on the region. The topic is huge. Here's Charles. Thanks again. No, I will never use your name and probably not use quantum energy condensation too much as it's really over my head. Pardon me. I told one of my Facebook friends and he sent me some information on the subject. Anything you tell me will be completely confidential, and this is just me speaking. Obviously now Charles is releasing it into the public domain, but this engineer really only requested that his name not be mentioned. He said it was okay to quote him. Okay, continuing along, I'm really interested for myself because I can't find any answers at all. I film them regularly and they seem to hang around my balcony, these orbs, but not for the last 3 months, so maybe they have left. This was my first orb, and this is what you are referring to regarding network, because everything you mentioned in the short paragraph is what I'm seeing. Wow, look at this plasma-like orb, very intelligent and hung around for several months and never returned. Thanks again. This one is for sure the freakiest. This is July 17th, 2014, 8:01 a.m. I guess Charles is putting the date and time of these communications with the engineer. So Charles, just wondering if what I'm doing, filming these objects, help you and your colleagues in any way, how they react and travel in the sky. Just curious. Communication was September 22nd, 2014, 4:19 p.m. The engineer. Hi Charles, as I told you, the topic of these orbs and other floating elements is a sensitive issue, since they are not related to man-made causes or any other common nature effect. Any of those structures that you are filming cannot be held, cannot be grabbed. They do not follow the general physics laws, but they are running through the relativistic and quantum domains in our current knowledge level. That's in brackets. Once we started changing our perception of reality, creating proper mathematical models that unify the most basic laws of physics, brackets, electromagnetism, atomic and macroscopic, nuclear and gravitational, end of brackets, we could start understanding reality from a more real perspective. Unfortunately, all these topics are not studied within public domain institutions, and my domain is related to other topics. Charles, thank you. My apologies if I'm asking more questions than I should. I just really appreciate your feedback, as it is helping to understand the phenomenon a little better. It has been a niche I can't scratch now for 3 years. Don't know why it has captured my attention. Sort of almost obsession. I never wanted to believe in UFOs. I'm a professional medical practitioner and consultant. So again, my apologies and appreciate the explanations you have offered me. All the best. That was October 6, 2014, 10:20 a.m. The engineer. Hi Charles, don't worry, no apologies needed. This topic goes further than just UFO, aliens, or whatever society has been programmed to think about. It's mainly about a deeper understanding of life itself. I'll be glad to receive any material from your side. I'm always open to provide some feedback. Have a nice day, Charles. Kind regards. From Charles. Much appreciated. I'm in the process of writing a white paper on my experiences last 3 years, since winter in Vancouver is cloudy most of the time. Gives me some time to work on something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm in the medical field, so I thought it would make sense to write a paper. Appreciate your help. I'm sure we will chat again soon. I've had the orbs do some flybys in my apartment again after a few months of nothing. Such an odd phenomenon. Brackets. Did a documentary instead, end of brackets. October 21st, 2014, 2:53 p.m. Charles. Hi. I hope you're well. Cloudy and rainy days in Vancouver for the next few months, so no interesting videos from me. I was wondering about the comet that passed Mars. I couldn't find anything on the internet and wondered if you had a chance to see anything really cool while it passed Mars. Thanks. I'm going to take my Meade scope out of the closet next spring and get back to astronomy. Many thanks. That was November 12, 2014, 4:58 a.m. Charles. Busy day for you. All the best with Rosetta. November 12, 2014, 4:34 p.m. From the engineer. Hey Charles, sorry for my late reply regarding the comet passing by Mars, but I have been, brackets and still am, end of brackets, really busy lately. I did receive some more pics, but they're nothing special in terms of resolution or further details. Just check these 2 sites where you can see more information and some pics. The engineer again. Today it was a really crazy day with the Philae landing. I believe, this is me speaking, I really believe that was the when they landed on the asteroid. Really exciting event. Luckily it landed with all scientific instruments in full operability capabilities. Although the telemetry received from the harpoons and propulsion module were not satisfactory today, tomorrow more tests shall be carried out. Thanks for your interest, Charles. Keep checking the Rosetta site so that you can get updates of the mission. Have a nice day over there. Cheers. That was November 12, 2014, 5:40 p.m. Just an aside from me, Charles has mentioned a couple of times that this is how he knows this engineer was credible, because when they said they were having trouble with the harpoon, it was minutes later that it came out on public news sources. So obviously Charles knew that he had an inside fella here, credible fellow speaking about all these things. Okay, this is Charles. Thanks for the link, and yes, you are probably so busy. What an exciting place to be. Congrats, and hope tests come back more positive tomorrow. I guess this was your baby last few years. November 13th, 2014, 9:23 p.m. Charles. Hey, wonder if you would be interested in an audio interview for our documentary. Engineer, hi Charles, good to hear from you again. I hope you're doing well over there in the west coast of Canada. In a couple months I'll be heading to NASA in Ohio and Langley for some months. So what's your approach for the documentary? What kind of contents are you expecting to include? Please feel free about letting me know any further details. That was April 24th, 2015, 6:15 p.m. Charles, hi. Please let me know if you're interested, as we are filming already and would love to do a quick audio or video Skype with you. Thinking audio, right? Looking forward to hearing from you. Cheers. That was May 11th, 2015, 9:20 a.m. The engineer, hi Charles, sorry for my late reply. I couldn't access these messages before. I'm not available until Thursday, so please consider this if you consider any collaboration from my side. On the other hand, I would like to know the topics to be discussed. I'm not available to have an open discussion. Let me know the specific and detailed topics so I can agree or not on them, and until which level I could help you. Thanks, Charles. That was May 11th, 2015, 10:31 a.m. From Charles. Hi, totally understand your position. We would only ask questions on the dynamics of possible causes of these lights or orbs seen in the sky and ones I've captured. We are not really going the ET route at all, but scientific explanation as you being an expert in possible causes, and there should be more study in the phenomenon, etc. So it would be simple, and we would send you questions in advance. We would use Skype. Audio is fine, but Skype video, we would blur out your image and voice if needed. But if we just focus on science piece, you might have nothing to worry. The film is about Skywatcher and what I've been filming. I make no claims that I know what it is, and story or mission is my attempts to discover what they might be. So we're interviewing all specialities. Some will have ET hypothesis, some will have science and possible unknown causes. It's a big question mark. I totally understand if you cannot do it or don't want to do it. Would be great because of your background. Let me know, and thanks for getting back to me. That was June 14th, 2015, 9:13 a.m. This is again from Charles. Hi, I have not heard back from you. I can only assume you do not have time or feel like you like to chat about UAPs any longer, and I just wanted to let you know I respect that and still want to thank you for your feedback and theories about what I've been seeing. Thank you and take care. That was August 11th, 2015, 8:31 a.m. This is the engineer. Hey Charles, good to hear from you. I feel really sorry of my late replies, but I totally forgot to send you a message. My most sincere apologies, Charles. At the moment, I am still in Washington. Are you finally organizing any event related to UAPs or filming? Again, sorry for my delay, and thank you for your time, Charles. August 28th, 2015, 6:39 p.m. This is from Charles. Hi, hope you're well. Just want to let you know we are just about finished with our documentary, and I was wondering if it was okay to use your quote from the beginning about what you think these orbs might be with quantum condensation explanation, etc. We'll never use your name. I just like to ask first. Also, I know you are well versed with satellites. Could this occur in the following video I captured back in 2012? This thing was almost hovering, then zipped off, taking a nice right turn. Thanks again. Here he is again. I forgot about this sighting last year. I captured this brilliant UFO just above my apartment in night vision. It was captured using my first cheek. That was October 23rd, 2015, 5:14 p.m. The engineer. Hi Charles, it is always good to hear from you. Yes, please, you can use any detail I already provided you. The object from the video is definitely not a satellite. Just by this video, I could not provide any formal explanation. I'm not sure if the infrared fingerprint is based on the sensor or your receptor, but the trajectory discards several possibilities. Commonly by IR sensors, this kind of circular or orb-shaped object can be detected in the lower layers of the atmosphere. Charles, Great, much appreciated, thank you. This one was amazing, no doubt. I have no idea what it is, either this one. The DVR was using sucked. It looked like a bright star/satellite when I spotted it as it was just hovering. Then I grabbed my night vision binocular and it began to speed up, and the rest is history. Also, since we have chatted for so long, I had a blue sphere about the size of a baseball or golf ball last December bouncing up and down outside my balcony. I thought it was someone with a quadcopter. I stepped out on my balcony and there it was. It stopped at my eye level like it looked at me and zipped off, zigzagging across the street over a bridge and hovered on top of the building. Blue bright like an LED light. I grabbed my camcorder and when I hit record it blinked out at the same time. But funny thing, before it blinked out, it was larger. For me, this event validated 100% of this phenomenon, whatever it is. I don't know if I ever told you this, but it's my best sighting ever. 10 to 20 feet from me, looked like a Christmas tree, but bigger. Since then, I have not seen anything worth talking or filming. Very weird, like it all stopped. Thanks for your input. Here's the engineer. So you confirm that the light you saw was receptive to the fact you were filming it, in terms of disappearing or changing its trajectory. Charles, oh, it must have known I was about to record because it blinked out like a light bulb, switching off when I hit record, exactly the same time, so no footage whatsoever. It lasted just over 7 seconds as I was counting in my head, unless it was complete coincidence. I would suspect intelligence. Shit, when I was bopping up and down outside my balcony, it went up and down maybe 3 times while I was watching TV. Wasn't even thinking of sky watching since there was nothing going on the last few months. And when I opened the balcony door, it was ascending and stopped eye level, and 100 miles an hour took off against the wind, zigzagging like a bug size of baseball. It was surreal, but I wasn't surprised. Maybe the color, and I can actually see it with naked eye, but reacted like my night vision orbs. Charles again, oddly, I have this small micro quadcopter with blue LED lights, and I was flying it in my living room by my balcony windows about an hour before. Reason why I thought maybe someone with a large quadcopter was flying between the buildings. Color of LED lights was exactly the same as my quadcopter. I can't see this as a coincidence. As the engineer. So you were using a little quadcopter with the same kind of light right 1 hour before. It couldn't be that someone saw you and sent the same kind of UAV? Charles, not at all. I had a good look at it, and it was just a spherical ball, and it flew miles faster than any quadcopter and about 400 meters. These little microquads have tops 20 meters distance. Oh no, not a quad row. Anything I know is man-made. I have multiple drones. Engineer. Nevertheless, in some kind of analysis carried out with some types of these so-called spheres, orbs, etc., it was detected a kind of pattern being stored by them. Complicated way to explain it, but in some cases they use a similar procedure as quantum entanglement with a major component and seem to acquire data with them. I cannot give you additional details about the analysis or organization in charge. Basically, some of those types were able to access to some kind of data being generated, brackets, either by the environment, comma, living beings, etc., end of bracket. Charles, interesting. Whatever this was, I can tell you there was some intelligence behind it, as it reacted to me as if it was just coincidence or not. When I hit record on my camcorder, my first impressions watching this thing, it was an animal of some sort. But what could be so bright blue and size of baseball and gets bigger? Anyways, another one can't explain but validates my videos, at least for me. Also Charles, very interesting. Your colleagues have been studying them, I gather. I wonder if they are the ones dropping from high-flying objects. I filmed this type of event 4 times, so I know it's UFO drop in Vancouver. Wow. Engineer, we never detected objects dropping from them directly or any other major component ejecting from them. Well, not really colleagues, but in some cases, it was even possible to isolate some of these components and reach a deeper analysis with them. Charles. Must be something else. Again, I can't see four objects like this video, exactly same image. Shoot something just behind the object. Friend of mine has exact same recording as well. Cool, I'm glad someone is studying them. I'm sure they concluded some type of intelligence. Did they also find anything regarding effect on human beings? I have some weird things happening to me afterwards, but it's all gone now. I don't tell too many people these things because for sure they'll think I'm bonkers. Excluded from my documentary, but they have happened nevertheless. But like I said, I haven't seen a thing since. The engineer. Well, yeah, there were some cases of a kind of transference of some data sections, I told you before, but it is a more complicated topic. Let's say that there are ways to print out data over living beings, mainly. Charles. Days after I had my front door lobby intercom buzz, my phone repeated nights in a row, then it stopped, verified by CCTV camera, no one buzzing at the intercom. Print out data? Not sure I follow. The engineer. It's a complicated issue, but your existence can be printed by some additional data in different ways. Charles. Well, I follow that since we are just a bunch of molecules vibrating at certain frequencies, so copy the frequency, maybe. The engineer, no, not that frequency thing. It's much more than that. Different layers of existence are composed by many factors that can be tuned up, but this goes too much over what I can tell you. Charles, sorry. Charles, no problem. I understand anyways, but why so hush-hush about it? People can't handle the truth, maybe? The engineer, I must go, but please keep me posted with any details or footage you might acquire. Charles, no problem. If it helps what you're doing, I'm glad to show you, but it's been very quiet. Not sure if they will return, but I have new equipment, including thermal imaging. Take care and thanks for the feedback and teasers. LOL. The engineer, well, the truth is too big to be handled for sure, but it goes far beyond that, Charles. Charles, spiritual, I would think. The engineer, in a few words, people must be what they have earned to be. Charles, sounds very spiritual to me with science fact behind it. Engineer, haha, it is somehow, but unfortunately, even by providing all the necessary info, that would not change most of the important facts within the public domain, and that is the problem since decades. Simply, people individually must earn it. I cannot go further into those details. Sorry. Thanks again, Charles. Have a good evening over there and keep me posted. That's March 29th, 2016, 12:13 a.m. Charles. In reference to orbs mimicking. Engineer, is this the first time I have any news about the mimicking of these so-called orbs? They're not standalone entities trying to manifest any representation or to communicate. Nevertheless, the behaviors you noticed seem very interesting. Charles, thought you would like to see this video from Alaska, recently taken by a security guard. Quite amazing, these orbs being ejected. Sure look like what I used to see. Possible UFO? Was doing my patrol and noticed something odd in the sky. Capture at 3 a.m. May 13th, 2016 in Fairbanks, Alaska. And that was May 17th, 2016 at 3:14 p.m. Do you think this could be natural phenomena or man-made? I can't think what else it could be. Thanks. Making big news right now in the community. Thanks. That was May 22nd, 2016 at 3:16 p.m. This is the engineer. Hi, Charles. It's always good to hear from you. I didn't receive any report or details about an incident going on over Alaska or any region nearby on those dates. Therefore, just by the video and behavior of the luminic expositions, I'm not able to provide any specific feedback. Sorry. Charles, do you mean report or detail of an incident as in man-made? Thanks. The engineer, not man-made. Charles, okay, so it's not any satellite or astronomical event, which is what I concluded. Thank you. It really has the same details as some of my non-man-made sightings in Vancouver. The engineer, no, satellite, astronomical, definitely not. But I cannot conclude if it's either man-made or not. Sorry, Charles. Yeah, we can't neither. We are investigating and have concluded one way or another if it's man-made or not. But ruling out just about everything so far, man-made objects from flares to pyrotechnics, so far remains a UAP. The ejected objects at the beginning resembled my orbs just by the way it moves. Okay, so I'm not sure if that was from Charles or the engineer. Charles, thanks for your response and help as usual. Charles, my best evidence so far of orbs, no thermal signature, and you can actually see like plasma, must see. Orbs, I guess that's the name of his video, Must See Orbs, June 3rd, 2016. Finally, they have returned, and wow, 2 of them checking out the condos, just like in 2014. Not only were they invisible to the naked eye, I could not get a thermal signature. And that's June 8th, 2016, 9:20 p.m. Orange plasma orb edit. Wow. The recent posting of orb in Vancouver, re-edit with close-ups. Best I can do away from my main computer, but sure looks like a plasma ball. That was July 10th, 2016, 2:43 p.m. Here's the engineer. Hi Charles, it's always good to hear from you. Sorry if I didn't reply to you before. That video you captured is really great. One of the best situations I've seen captured from a non-military environment, I must say. Great job. Charles, thanks. As usual, most people think it's nothing except for real credible sky watchers like myself. People want to see ET and flying saucers before they think video capture is the real deal. I agree. This was my best capture of their behavior in close-up. No thermal signature wasn't so much of a surprise. I knew they are made of light or plasma or hologram. The engineer speaking. From mid-July until a couple weeks ago, we had reports from many non-common activities, again close to the North Pole, but I cannot give you further details, sorry. Even nowadays, we still don't know 100% what they are. Some were captured in a controlled environment, but their behavior is usually non-statistical. Charles, makes sense since mine was early July, had a couple more in July, but weirdest thing happened. When I was ready to record, I turned off my cameras by accident instead of record. So odd. Engineer, commonly they're based on quantum references, which sources are not defined in this plane, but you have to consider some of them are able to act according to your outputs. Their field of action is also still unknown for us, brackets, at least to the group I know working on them, brackets. Charles, reason thermal doesn't pick them up. The engineer, as I said, there are ways to interact with some of their types, and not in very common human way, I must say, but keep your attention on them if you see again. Have to go, Charles. Keep in touch. Have a good weekend over there. Charles, are you saying more telepathic in nature? The engineer, difficult to say, but some, are more reactive to low hertz or low frequencies. Charles, okay, thanks, and you know I will see them again. The one in June came in pair. One went the opposite direction, so I followed just the one. Any suggestions? Keeping my attention on them, telepathically or subconsciously. The engineer, still probably you can realize that maybe sometimes you feel like they're looking at you. Charles, funny you mentioned that. I just bought a shortwave radio and was using it that night, first time. The engineer, keep me posted if you get anything. Sorry, I have to go. Always good to hear from you. That was November 3rd, 2016, 4:46 p.m. The engineer, hi Charles. First of all, although quite late, thanks a lot for your birthday wishes. Really appreciate it. Already in February, I had an internal disciplinary action procedure for some issues related to disclosure of info on these regards. Thanks, Charles. Regards. That was April 27th, 2017, 9:08 p.m. Hi, Charles. This is the engineer. And again, as usual, sorry for being not very communicative. Please allow me to recap on your last messages. In the last months, I have not been assigned any further research activity on these kind of events, either on North America or Europe, and my NATO security clearance has been degraded one level. Therefore, I have lost visibility on the state-of-the-art, what most of the military groups have been doing with respect to these kind of activities. In any case, I'm sorry, but I cannot share with you any of the latest activities. Nevertheless, no extraordinary progress has occurred from these outcomes I have received. Right now, I am simply involved in a regular work activity in the space sector, working with industry and development research in human spaceflight, just supporting military activities when requested. Regarding your question about government releasing their UFO research program, all disclosure of events is good, but don't expect useful details. Also, in general terms, don't expect any conspiracy or any stuff like that. As a summary, we have many difficulties trying to analyze these events and related activities. We don't have the technology required to understand them, together with many other implications, a simple part of our evolution. Have a nice day. June 11th, 8:05 a.m. Last correspondence, June 2018. Thanks, Charles Lamoureux, Static 8 Films. And that is the end of this video. This is the end of the PDF. So basically, Charles was speaking with this engineer for quite a while, and this engineer basically confirms the existence that there are these orbs, and that you can't touch them, you can't grab and hold them. They're an energy type thing. It's almost like a plasma condensation type thing. And I don't have any answers either. I can tell you that I've seen the orbs many times. Our best orb, of course, is the one filmed in Squamish, BC. We went back and confirmed it was not the ISS. It's been confirmed by MUFON that it was not the ISS. It's been confirmed as unknown. Charles has many films of orbs. I'll try to put links to his films, his videos in the description here. And our Squamish Orb was picked as one of the top 13 for 2017 by MUFON, and that's internationally. So it's picked as one of the best vids in the world for 2017. So I'll end the video here, and I will continue to research with the WND, our weapon of mass detection, our weapon of mass debunction.